The Bible is for me.
Show starts.
I'm going glasses on. Should I go glasses on? Should I ditch the glasses? It's going to save me from getting a headache.
Is it blue?
That's
Are they blue light?
Yeah. I don't need them for nerd purposes. I just need them to not get a headache.
I'm not a weaker vessel.
No, that's fine.
Never.
This vessel is doing A-OK, except for the broken hip and, those kind of issues. General anxiety. Besides those things, that's a lot of it's mental, though.
Firing on all cylinders beside those things.
Yeah, can't keep this 40-year-old body down.
30? No, I started it so, I was going to say 40, flirty, and thriving. I started it with the word 30. And the whole bit fell apart.
Yeah, it sure did.
Bit would have taken this podcast to a whole nother level.
You think so?
One year at the YMCA, down here, YMCA, the Sun Coast, not the Nashville, rich one that you were associated with, but the kind of like the Sun Coast version. Our whole staff training was called A Whole Nother Level, and that was the whole staff training before we started. So,
did they say another, or did they say whole other level?
Whole nother.
Oh no!
Every time it was said, it was a whole nother level. And so we said that all year at the childcare. We was like, hey, if we get these new kickballs, I think we'll take this outside time to a whole nother level. It's a little bit of my history. Every time I hear that, that's what I think. But listen, we have guests here, Tim.
You mean my friends up above me?
We both have works of art behind us, which is fitting.
I don't think that this is even I don't think that's what the actual Last Supper even remotely looks like.
Really?
I could be wrong. I haven't studied it in a while, but I'm pretty sure they even kind of paraphrased. I'm like, yeah, it's Jesus. And if anybody's looking, this is not my house. This is one that's been being borrowed from family members. So we've got decor that I might not put up the Last Supper, but I want everybody else to see the Last Supper behind me, especially considering this podcast, because today, especially if Jesus comes back, right now and is like, hey, we're in the way that we've seen it in this film that we're about to review. Yeah. I want Jesus to know I'm on his team. And that's what better way to do that than to be like, oh yeah, I remember the last time you ate was
That's right.
Here.
I have fan art up. See? Take me with you. Welcome everybody. That's a great lead in from Tim. This is a segment we like to call Christian Movie Club. And I have to be honest with you, Tim.
Thank you.
I'm unraveling a little bit. I'm really hoping we watch the same movie.
No. Are you sure? What did you watch?
What movie did you watch?
I watched Heaven's War.
Okay, good. That's what I watched too. Phew. Heaven's War is what we are reviewing today. Heaven's War. It's a big deal. I went to type into a series of kind of our podcasts, like where we store stuff. We have, I think the word heaven has been in about 8 titles of movies. Because I was like,
yeah, if you do the whole word bubble diagram, I think Grace is in there 4 or 5 times too.
I did Christian movie Heaven, and they're like, oh, you mean Heaven's Doors, Heaven's Day, Heaven is for real, Heaven Time.
To Betsy's.
Oh, thank heaven. A lot of heaven movies today. It's Heaven's War, though. It's kind of a serious one, kind of combative, kind of aggressive, maybe, is what you might be thinking. And I'm not going to say you're wrong. We're here to discuss that today. Tim and I have both watched the movie separately. We have consumed it, and we come here today to discuss with you, our friends. That's the point of the segment, Christian Movie Club. Maybe you've seen this movie, maybe you haven't. We're going to catch you up if you haven't seen it, so you can feel involved in a part of the conversation that's about to happen. But Tim, could you tell us a little bit about the movie Heaven's War before we get down to business?
I sure will. Heaven's War, 2018 film. It's got an hour and 35-minute runtime, so very, very doable if you're on a time crunch. Written and directed by Danny Corrales. You may remember, has done films like The Gathering and The Pilgrim's Progress of 2008. So he did the more modern one. But The Gathering and Second Glance with David A.R. White are two films that we have reviewed here on this podcast. Yeah. So he's been here. He's a regular for us. He also did a film called Final Exit, which I kind of went down the little rabbit trail of IMDb. Is described by one viewer as like Left Behind but worse. So I have a feeling eventually you're gonna probably make me watch that one too, and it does look awful. So
Exit.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
This film stars a couple of people that you may have heard of, you may have not heard of. Jason Gearhart as Jonah. Jason has been in NCIS and Days of Our Lives and Chicago Med and CSI Immortality and CSI Crime Scene Investigation, which I think is just what CSI stands for. And Bones and 113 episodes of General Hospital. And he was also in General Hospital Night Shift. So that's the after hours hospital.
Hey-o.
Yeah, so he's got kind of a soap opera-y kind of theme to his work, but he's got some experience. He's been out there.
Okay.
Also stars Donnie Boaz. I'm sorry, Donnie.
Thank you.
Donnie Boaz as Gabriel. He was also in The Young and the Restless for 112 episodes. Daytime Divas, Divorce, Texas Style, and 12 Pups of Christmas. You've not seen him? He's been in a lot of stuff. He's done some work, but those are some of the favorite titles I saw. Most notably, though, for us, he was in an uncredited role in Left Behind, but he was also in Black Easter and Assassin 33 AD. He's listed as both in IMDb. Yeah, so he did the work for one of them, but he got credited for two. But he has 120.
Who is this?
Sorry?
Which character is this you're talking about?
This is Gabriel.
This is Gabriel.
Angel.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, one of the angels. He has 128 acting credits listed on IMDb. So again, he's done some work as well.
Hustling.
This film stars Joe Estevez as Senator Baker. It was kind of hard. I'll be honest. It was kind of hard to pull information from some of our actors. One, because there were so many characters, so many one-off parts were introduced, and a lot of them were introduced really without clearly telling us who their names were. Who is who? What is her name? What is his name? I don't know. So you don't really know how to match everybody up. But Joe Estevez was Senator Baker. He was on one episode of Chips in 1981, which is about the one thing you might recognize him from, or that I did. But he has 315 acting credits listed on IMDb. You've
Nice.
just never heard of anything else. Here's a few that he's on. I Married a Centerfold, Fatal Pulse, Murder in Law, The Rollerblade 7, Legend of the Rollerblade 7, Return of Rollerblade 7, and also he was in Beach Babes from Beyond, where he plays a character called Uncle Bud, and finally he was in a film called Blood Slaves of the Vampire Wolf. So
Yeah.
you saw that one. You
That
have
one
the poster.
That was
up
one
on
of
the
me
other
and
side.
Rach's early dates. We went and saw Bloodthirsty Vampires of the Harvest Moon, and it was better than I expected.
The follow-up to that was the Blood Slaves of the Vampire Wolf.
Yeah. That's what well, it was kind of like Assassin, Black Easter, and Assassin. It was like the same name,
just a
but different cuts, depending.
Yeah.
And I saw it in IMAX as the director intended because I wanted to get the full frame. So I did
And
it
the
right.
director's cut, because you don't want to miss anything.
You don't want to miss any of the bloodthirsty zombies.
Yeah. Film also stars, I'll wrap it up, with Tom Costello Jr. as Senator McCluster. He is in one episode of Rented a Billionaire Husband for Christmas, which I know you know about. The Pro Bono Watchman, Rebellious Children of the Unconscious, and also he was in American Underdog, where he plays an uncredited Rams coach.
I'm sorry.
Don't make this stuff up.
Rebellious Children of the Unconscious is...
Rebellious Children of the Unconscious, yeah.
That is got to be a title generated just from spinning a wheel and finding words.
Mm-hmm. And then they made something, but give them credit. They made something.
Children of the Unconscious.
Other notable characters, just because we have to get their names out there, I want to give them credit. Like, they did a thing and we watched a thing and they were kind of the main characters in here. Johnny Walter as Colt Lesher, Carrie Cox as Jane Eisner, Trent Rosdet as Digon, and Greg Kelly as Magog. These were the demons. And then some of the other characters. So we saw some of those a little bit more. I'm not going to list all their IMDb credits because they've done some work, but you promise you never heard of them. Never heard of them. And there's also a couple of characters that I liked listed on the IMDb credits. There's a character called Hotel Demon and one called Hospital Demon. And then it's Angel Warrior 1, 2, 3, 4, etc.
Hospital Demon also got my attention. That just, and when I saw the character name, my mind went to a conversation of, oh, what do you do? I'm an actor. Oh, what have you been in recently? Like, I was in a movie. Character you play? Hospital Demon? I was a demon. Only seen once in the hospital. I don't want to get too much into the movie. I thought, like, the best costume for a demon, in my opinion, was Hospital Demon.
Let's not get into it.
But I don't want to dive all the way into it
yet.
But I won't get into it. But I will say, when you say all those characters, it is what makes it easier to follow with all those characters is when they all refer to each other as Senator. Then it's super easy to know who's who, because everyone just calls everyone Senator. 2018 is the movie. That is the time of release. This movie's on Tubi. Good friends over at Tubi. Good friends over at Tubi. Who, if you are a listener and you know someone at Tubi, I've written emails. I just feel like we need to work together on this project. So if Tubi is listening, we'd love for you to sponsor this podcast. We spend a lot of time on your platform. Big fans. So shouts out to Tubi wherever they are. If you've got a connect, let me know. Christian Movie Club. We did a lot this. Tim, why don't we go into the reviews? If you've got any reviews from this movie to set the tone for our listeners who maybe haven't heard of the movie, maybe haven't seen the movie, what are we getting into?
Yeah. So yeah, we're in a good place because there's a varying spectrum. At the top, 9 out of 10, well-written movie with a message, plus a great learning tool. User writes, let me address the elephant in the room. Yes, this is a religious movie. Before you decide not to watch the movie, let me encourage you to let go of your stereotypes and consider this one. And then he goes on, or she goes on. Yeah. Filmmaker this is about good and evil, and the filmmaker doesn't hide the fact that he is a believer. Having said all that, I am a novice screenwriter. And there are so many nuggets about storytelling in this film that should be required watching for all film students. The use of cutting from one scene to another builds excitement and anticipation. The use of CGI adds to the story but doesn't make the story about CGI. Dialogue was realistic, and there are some very emotional scenes. That's the review. Let me tell you a thing about filmmaking. The use of cutting from one scene to another is it's literally how you have to do everything, because if you don't, then you have one shot.
It takes an innovator. Some people think a movie is one consecutive shot, and they set up like a Ring camera, and it takes these innovators to get into the space and cut.
Yes, and all the novice filmmakers out there really do need to know that.
They gotta know.
So I don't think you have to watch the film to know that, but it doesn't hurt.
I actually would jump in here. I would definitely leap in if I was in a more nerdier place and be like, actually, I prefer the 70s films when they cut less because it felt like you were more in the scene. So that's my initial response to that review, but I'm not going to say that, Tim. I'm going to keep that inside because I think cutting takes me out of a film. But I respect this opinion that you shared.
You do at some point need to change location. You just need to cut scenes. You need to go to a different scene. And that's what the user is saying, is that at some point you have to cut to a different scene.
Yeah.
Next review, 6 out of 10. An unusual Christian film is the title. A person's worldview affects how they rate this film. Believers are glad to find a fast-paced, engaging story with a decent plot and a biblical worldview. However, non-believers tend to be offended by the blatant Christian message and less forgiving of the low-budget CGI. My 2 cents worth, as a Christian screenwriter, I know this is my favorite part, I tend to be more objective than the average Christian viewer. Basically, going to film school took away a lot of the fun I used to have watching any film. Now, I notice all the plot holes, payoffs without setups, on-the-nose dialogue, character arcs that do not grow organically from the plot line, and 1,000 other things that can go amiss in any poorly crafted film. So for me to rate this film a 6 is my way of saying, wow, pretty good job.
Okay. Man. Yeah. That was a bit of a roller coaster. So they're kind of a 6 is I think like a C for most people.
Well, when you're at that level of film critique, you can call something a 6 and you're like, praise you, thank you so much for such a nice review.
You're lucky I gave you a 6. I can't track with people like that. I have a hard time with 6 out of 10 reviews. I have a hard time with 3-star reviews. Just because I'm like, I don't know, and this is I don't want everyone to have this take because I don't. But to me, it's like, tell me it was great or tell me it was bad. I assume it's a 2.5. That's my assumption going in. I assume it's a 3.
But you believe those reviews more. If they give you, if you see a review on a product or in a movie and they give you like a medium, they may tell you why it would have been something higher, and then why they didn't give it higher, or it would have been lower, but they gave it a little bit higher. And I appreciate that honesty.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about this recently, actually, because I struggle with hot take culture, and like then I heard somebody, depending on when you listen to this podcast, LeBron James just signed with the 76ers as of this recording. And I'm hearing people weigh in here, there, everywhere. And I hear this take that's like, you know what I mean? It's the thing about this signing is it's either really going to work or it's not. And I just was like,
astute.
Cut away. What did you add? Of course, that's the
24-hour news cycle applies to sports too. Yeah.
Like, don't say that. Tell me something. I don't know. I don't know what to do with 3-star reviews. But anyway, 6 out of 10. I don't know how to take that reviewer, but they're a Christian screenwriter, and I respect it.
Yeah. Last ones I'll give you. 1 out of 10. Cringe Fest is the name of the title of the review. If you didn't already guess by the fantastic image and even the greater trailer, this movie is a cringe fest. I spent a good 5 minutes laughing on this picture that kind of looks like Star Wars. The longer you look, the funnier it gets. Who the heck thought it would be a good idea to produce this movie? And then 1 out of 10. Laugh out loud. Funny, cringeworthy in every aspect, but unintentionally hilarious. I mean, you know,
I like that.
It's a spectrum.
It's a spectrum. You like to give a well-rounded set of reviews, and you've done that yet again. And we're thankful for your service. All right, Tim, give us people. 2018, long time ago. We've been through a lot collectively since 2018. Give the people if they maybe they saw this movie when it came out, maybe they haven't seen it. Give them like a 1-line summary of Heaven's War.
Yeah. The IMDb synopsis says, the movie follows the story of Jonah Thomas, a U.S. senator, who gets trapped in an epic battle fought between life and death. That's it.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. Hey, we're going to dive in. Heretofore, there will be spoilers. Up until now, we haven't really given away too much, and that's intentional because we like to give everyone the opportunity, if you so choose, to watch this movie spoiler-free. Movie's called Heaven's War. Like we mentioned, it's on Tubi. It's about 95 minutes long. And it's a ride. It's a film. It's a movie. It's a motion picture. And you can watch it if you want. We have the link in the show notes. I'm going to give a more thorough synopsis of the plot here in just a second. Kind of talk you through everything you need to know as we discuss and unpack everything that we consumed. We have consumed separately. We are here to discuss as friends. I'll give you a moment to decide if you want to watch this movie spoiler free. Head on over to the show notes right now. Pull it up. Get your friends. Pop some popcorn. Enjoy the show. All right, if you watched the whole movie or you just stuck around for a moment, we are now going to continue with a more thorough synopsis with spoilers of Heaven's War. Tim, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. God's divine, eternal nature is hard for humans to completely understand. But one thing we've figured out for sure is that God loves politicians the most. Which is why the entire force of heaven is so deeply invested in the life of a senator from West Virginia, Jonah Thomas, and protecting his life's work of not raising taxes. The Archangel Gabriel, who, based on his accent, hails from either Mississippi or New Jersey, is personally assigned to protect and evangelize Jonah. It's a busy time in the U.S. Senate as they go about their typical work of meeting, voting, and developing vaccines. Two separate groups of senators believe they have discovered a cancer vaccine. One of these vaccinations claims to be a medical miracle, but is in fact a fraud, while the other seems to also not work very well. As Jonah weighs which of these options to support, he's called into several meetings, causing him to miss his daughter's tennis match. His daughter, Chloe, really wants her dad to watch her play tennis, so she wishes him dead. She almost gets her wish, as one of Jonah's important meetings is the target of a terrorist attack. Luckily, the angel Gabriel shows up in the nick of time and disarms the bombs, protecting Jonah. Well, he disarms 2 of the 4 bombs. They don't have bombs in heaven, so Gabriel didn't exactly know what he was getting into, what type of bombs they were, and he didn't have a lot of time. And listen, he doesn't have to explain himself to you, okay? The 2 unarmed bombs detonate, sending Jonah into a coma, maybe, where he experiences the spiritual realm alongside his new personal protector / missionary / accountability partner, Gabriel. The 2 travel between dimensions via handshake, where Jonah sees firsthand the spiritual implications of decisions made on Earth. Gabriel battles demons, Jonah gets saved, and Jonah's mom tries to seduce Jonah in the spiritual realm and then dies in the physical realm. It's not all bad for Jonah, however, as he does at least get to experience the pain and torment of both hell and the crucifixion. He returns to life a changed man with a limp. He goes to tennis matches, he pays his staff a living wage, and most importantly, no one is cured of cancer.
The cancer virus.
Heaven's War.
It's coming for you.
Heaven's War.
Jeez. There was so much. You got them. You got the stuff. And there's more, guys.
So much more to discuss, but it was a lot of... I kept thinking to myself, so much has happened. So many characters have been introduced. So many senators are involved. Let's start with that,
FBI
Tim.
agents. Don't forget about those.
And of course, what would senators be without their FBI agents? Tim, give me something that was shocking to you.
Shocking to me was for one of our Christian movies that we watched, there really was a good amount of like violence and fight scenes and really good like choreographed fights. And then like some special effects that I'll talk about later, but like the bomb going off, like we're talking strictly violence here. Bomb going off, and it looks pretty good. Like as far as cinematically, like they did a pretty good job with it. But yeah, a lot of explosions, and I mean, sure, the massive bomb goes off on like the 35th floor of a hotel or something, and there's no smoke or fire afterward, and no one dies immediately. But it's cool. As it turns out, a lot of the folks in the movie did have like stunt backgrounds. A lot of the angels and the demons all had stunt backgrounds. So. Yeah, I thought I was just shocked that there was so much for, and so like pretty well crafted, I would say.
Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna jump in ahead and say the fighting was the high point for me, and so I'm just gonna use this time to say that was my answer to that, and agree. I thought the fight scenes were pretty good, pretty well executed. Special effects in them was fun. But the thing that was shocking to me, kind of from the nature of the story, was just how poorly trained all the non-Gabriel angels were. Every non-Gabriel angel got killed. I think I watched 12 angels die in this movie. And and they just kept dying. Everybody would get, and then you could almost feel Gabriel kind of look around, like, oh, good, 3 of my buddies showed up, and it was just like, what they did in this movie to go from one thing to the next is that they would cut. So you would see the angels show up, and then they would cut to them fighting, and then they would cut to them being killed by demons almost immediately.
That is a film tactic, to cut from one scene to another. I don't know if you ever learned this when you went to film school.
For me, it built momentum. But I just was shocked. I was thinking maybe, and I don't want to go to someone else's job and tell them how to flip hamburgers, but maybe Gabriel spends a hair more time training the other angels because they seem ill-prepared.
Hear me out. Okay, a demon. What's a demon supposed to do during the day? Like, what is their whole goal? It's just to terrorize. It's to fight. It's to be mean and nasty. What's an angel's job? Well, depends. Are we talking like guardian angel? Are we talking about like the angel that like that's like the little baby angel, little Cupid, shooting little arrows on people? Yeah. Like there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot more jobs for angels, and fighting is not the number one thing. So then you kind of get the lesser of the fighters. But hopefully there's the quantity is what gets them the win over quality of fighting.
Hey, it might be a point there, but just it's something to note just as you're heading in. If you have a sensitivity, kind of a trigger warning to angels being killed by demons, you're going to see quite a bit of that. Give me a character you wanted to see less of, Tim.
Yeah, I've got like there was a tie, and then I kind of have an honorable mention, but I'll put it, the tie, they go together. The FBI agent, the woman, and like the FBI consultant, whatever job that is that's out there in the world.
Yeah.
The woman kind of reminded me of like Angela from The Office, which is cool because I actually really like Angela from The Office, but in this role, wasn't a fan. Her dialogue was so, like, every line she said was so bad. And then the consultant was just this kind of like spineless dude you didn't believe either. Like, I was just annoyed by them. And I'll get to my honorable mention if you don't mention this person as your character to see less of. Because I was just so annoyed by the dude mostly, but...
Yeah, I want to co-sign that the FBI being added to this whole thing was just pretty funny in execution. The FBI was like working against the FBI. Like there was a woman who seemed to know a little bit more. She was sending her fellow FBI agents to do a thing, even though she didn't really want to do the thing. And then I was like, zoom out for a second, and there's like, we're supposed to believe this like sort of haphazard father-son duo is executing this very high-level like attack on government officials 3 doors down. This is an empty hotel. There's no one in it. There's 3 rooms filled, and the FBI, the highest trained, they missed what was going on 2 doors down of an empty hotel. Was kind of a big a tough thing to believe, but
the film was funny because it had like characters, like these characters that I'm naming. I feel like all of them could have been cut out. They like the entire character, the entire like plot line that the character had woven into the story could have been cut out, and you save yourself one extra characters to have to remember the names of. But you can kind of maybe dig into the other parts of the story, like other pieces that you want to tell. But we'll get into that criticism later. But it's just weird to have like whole characters that you could be like, yeah, I could do without them in the whole thing. And they have dialogue. It's not like just a random person has like one line and says goodbye. Like, no, they are supposedly driving the story, and you could cut them out completely and have kind of the same story, if not better.
And right along the same lines, the character I wanted to see less of was the presence of the cancer vaccine. What? It just was so wildly, every bit of it was confusing. You just need to say there's a cancer vaccine. I don't know. The more they talked about it, and this is why I say I wanted to see less of it. I was pretty specific on this answer today. Like, say somebody's working on a cancer vaccine. Okay, that's significant. That matters for a story. But they would like double click and go more. Did you know this cancer vaccine, it only works on 95% of people, and 5% of people it doesn't work. Okay, that's fine. I think that's kind of standard for how that stuff kind of works. But did you also, guess what? Also know, The 95% of people it does work on, it doesn't work on them, because it does, and then it doesn't work on them. And you're like, oh, okay, all right. I guess I can kind of see why that's bad. And guess what? Everyone that gets it, the people that get it, it hurts them. And I'm like, what? I don't know what's going on with the cancer you just brought up. It doesn't work? It does work? It doesn't work. It works for most people. It doesn't work for any people. It doesn't. Then there's two of them, by the way. Two people are developing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what this is doing for the story. I'm so confused. And then they go, some senators pushing for everyone has to get it. Like 100% of the people have to get it. And I was like, oh, here we go. Setting up the mark of the beast. You're not going to trick me. And they never did. So I was just, the cancer vaccine's presence in this whole story, I was like, this is confusing. I don't know what this is.
Yeah. Don't know.
I wanted less of it.
100%.
Also, you would think two side characters in the story. Sorry, I'm ranting. Two characters in the story have cancer, and then were never addressed. One of them, the dad of Colt or whatever, says like, yeah, it didn't work for him, and that was part of the problem. But then we never even attempt. Jonah's mom, there's no attempt to even.
We don't know. That's okay. So that leads me to my honorable mention for character to see less of or not at all. It was Jonah's mom. Until she came back in his dreams as kind of a hottie, but besides that, which seducing her own son, like he's kind of fallen for her. There's no age limit.
How weird was
in
that?
Heaven, Jonah? What?
It's like this Aphrodite scene where she's in like on a seashell in the ocean, and like this, like I was like, what are we doing right now?
Right. He's like, Mom, you don't look normal, and she's like, I don't act normal either. Not true. That part's not true, but it was really weird and seductive.
It was so weird.
Mom being in the coma was like, what? The whole setup was bad. The dialogue around it was really weird. There was a point. Oh, let me see. I have it in my notes. That Jonah's wife was like, "Hey, we're talking about going to see your mother tonight," and he's like, "I can't. Besides, she's in a coma anyway. So like, what good would it do?" Like, weird line. And then Mom wakes up from her coma suddenly in the middle of this whole like battle for Middle Earth,
right?
And she comes in and wakes up, and it like she looks all healthy, like she hasn't been in a coma.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever been around somebody who's kind of in a vegetative state. I have, not a whole lot, but enough that I know they don't look like that. They look nothing like that. They don't look good. They're not in good shape. And then they just open their eyes, and it's like, oh yeah, you just look like you were sleeping for a minute. No, Mom woke up, was fully coherent, like fully lucid, and then just died again.
She also died like 2 scenes in. Do you remember that? Like they're like, oh, she flatlined, and we were.
And then Gabriel comes back. Yeah, like with his luscious lips and brings her back to life. I get it.
What were we doing? Give me a character you wanted to see more of.
I liked the one demon that looked a whole lot like Will Ferrell. I wanted to see
in my notes. He looked a lot like him.
Magog. I liked him. His dialogue was really bad, but I liked him a lot. But I also like we only get him for about like 10 seconds, but he's like the sassy FBI director, like the one that the woman who I didn't like goes to. He reminded me of like Stanley from The Office. He's the black guy sitting behind the desk. I liked him a lot. I think we could have put him in a lot more stuff, given him it justified this whole FBI thing. I think he would have been great, but I liked him a ton, and I would have seen more.
That.
I would have liked to see more though of the Will Ferrell demon.
Magog. Yeah, there was some good chemistry between Magog and Gabriel, and sort of a like I don't know, like this like sort of rival organization.
Beef,
yeah, you know, like you're both at like the same management level of different companies. One's a demon, one's an angel, and they're sort of trash talking each other. he calls him his lap dog. He's like, oh, his lap dog is here. It's good lines. I like that part. Not the character I wanted to see more of, though, Tim, because the character I wanted to see more of, less of a character, well, an implied character. We do a deep dive into one of the senators, probably my favorite senator's backstory, and that's a joke because I couldn't tell the senators apart. But the one senator made a lot of money, and then Gabriel's telling the story, and he's like, he tried to be generous as if that would make up for the way he got all his money. And we see a cutscene. And a cutscene is where you take it's a film strategy where you take a scene, you cut, and you go to a different scene, and when you do that, it builds momentum.
Okay.
For the viewers at home, high energy stuff. They say, oh, when he tried to be generous, so he's got this really big check. And I had to zoom in to be sure of this because I laughed out loud. The check is made out to, and this is a quote. This is exactly as it's presented. The check is made out to the Children in Need Foundation. And I have got to know more about this is the poorest attempt of like a nonprofit front that I've ever seen in my life. That is a ninth grader showing up I volunteered last weekend, like I said. Oh, really? Where'd you try to? The Children in Need Foundation, International, like
the Center for Children Who Don't Read Good. I was helping them to read gooder.
It's like the support for people who are in need of support.com. The Children in Need Foundation. I must know more about. I need a whole side story on the Children in Need Foundation. Because I tell you what they're dealing with is they're dealing with a problem in society that a lot of people are overlooking.
Need.
The children.
Children. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Or maybe there's a city somewhere called Need, and this is for the children in need.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like this
Need
is,
Arizona.
Specifically, this is a whole foundation for the children in need. There's children in nearby towns that do not get any of this support, but the children in need get all of the support. Give me a character that this is my favorite part of the segment. This is my favorite part of this particular thing. Give me a character that reminded you of me, Tim.
All right. So this was kind of tricky because there's a little bit more setup to it, but it's kind of the two of us, but it's sort of the dynamic of the two of us. And to me, it was the combo of the dad and son. It's the killer bomb duo with Colt and Ray, and you're the son. And I'm the dad. At the point of writing this, I was like, does he have arthritis or some sort of like heart condition or something? What the heck is wrong with this guy? And like just the way they interacted with each other was really fun. At one point, the dad's like, this is what got me. He's like, we're going to have to calibrate the bombs on site. I'll show you how to do it. Like, okay, we'll just figure it out when we get there. It's just bombs and we'll
doable.
have to calibrate them.
We'll figure
Don't
out.
worry. It is me going, yeah, it's okay, Aunt. It's fine. We'll just go. It's not that complicated. I can't show you here at your house. Let's just dive in, and then I'll get into it, and I can explain this whole thing. And then, so the son is just kind of following along. It's like, okay, Dad, let's go do the thing. And fully, like the kid's more capable than the dad is because Dad's old and struggling, and that reminds me of me, which makes me think the son reminds me of you.
That's good. I received that. I also had in my notes, I didn't know where to say it, that the two of them were giving Mario and Luigi at different points because they had like the same. It was like a monochromatic Mario and Luigi. There wasn't a color thing going on, but it was like the same.
Yeah, well, that's how
outfit.
you slip past the FBI on their floor when they have cameras up looking at you. You sneak in wearing uniforms with no name badge, no actual badge, like no tags. Just a gray uniform. I'm repair man.
It's a
from
me.
Repair company.
I go, he's here. Got to be here to do the pipes.
Must be legit.
See that mushroom he was carrying? I trust him. Okay.
Guy was spitting fire.
adjacent to your selection was my selection for you. My selection for you, I could not find this character's name. I don't know that it exists. It was the character that worked at the FBI who got the email, who got the like upload of all the information about the cancer vaccine situation. And this is what I loved about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't always have a good answer for this question. And I was like, this is Tim. Because this character that we're talking about just committed an assassination attempt on U.S. senators. And the guy at the FBI office is like, this is so interesting. Yeah, I mean, he did do that. But look at this stuff he was finding about the cancer. This is big deal stuff. He was doing all this research. And he's able to navigate his boss right there, like, and just sort of manipulate everyone around him to be like, yeah, I know he just bombed a bunch of, like, government officials. Listen, this is interesting stuff that he sent me.
Hear me out.
We got something here that we got to talk about. Yeah, I wish he wouldn't have done that. Anyway, maybe he should have done it. Like, he just was like this, and he just was nonplussed the whole time. Like, one point he looks and he's like, Colt, what have you got yourself into? Like, it's just like so chill, focused on the main thing. He's keeping the main thing the main thing. And
Thank
nobody
you.
does that better than you, Tim.
Stop. You're just making me blush.
I literally don't know this guy's name. Never heard it said. I assume he was a senator.
I'm sure. It's got to be in there somewhere. I'm looking at the list now. I can't tell you. There's 75 people listed on here.
It's so many characters, guys. Every scene was like your character you want to see more of. It was like, yeah, this was a speaking role. Like, you have to pay this actor as a speaking role, and they were there for 75 seconds. Okay, give me a low point for you.
All right, this one's kind of tough because I liked him as a character for the most part overall. Really fun to watch. But it had to do with Gabriel, and Gabriel's costume design was my major low point. Like, what is he wearing? And then like, I couldn't. You mentioned it before. I couldn't figure out his voice over and over. I'm like, where is he from? Savannah. And at one point he said, "That was not your mother."
Yeah.
I'm like, who?
Just like that.
Wait a minute. Should you be in Tombstone, or are you in South Carolina? I don't know the difference. But you know, Gabriel, for the most part, was very likable, and I thought he did a great job. But the low points of just looking at his costume from the beginning, like, come on, guys, you can't make angels look better than that.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get this reference. Maybe you will, but if the listeners have seen any of the Kingdom Hearts video game, he definitely has that sort of Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts, like, it's that, like, aesthetic. And it just was a choice. It wouldn't have been...
Yeah.
He's sleeveless, you know? I'll just say that. He's sleeveless.
I mean, if I have muscles like that, I'm probably pushing to go sleeveless too. I get it. He's a good-looking dude.
My low point, and this came to me while I was watching it, and this was the way I knew how to word it. My low point was the implications of this movie, and I really had an issue. Like the person you said, like, you can learn a lot from this movie. I was like, push back maybe there, friend. The implications.
Try not to.
The implications here are that angels can show up on Earth and disarm bombs, but they just sort of do it selectively. They just choose which ones they're gonna do and not do.
Because God loves the senators.
It's what the implications. I just kept saying the implications. Gabriel, you're allowed to take people on sort of personalized tours that lead them to salvation, but you just reserve it for senators from West Virginia. Huh. Okay. There's implications.
Well, there's only one of him. There's 8 billion people in the world.
The implications of some of this are tough for me to get my head around. I mean, this guy was actively messing up. He wasn't doing well. He was on the road to make some bad decisions. Apparently, by Gabriel's measure, The other senators were too far gone. We didn't have time to deal. We didn't want to show them the truth. We had time to show Jonah the truth.
We don't know if he tried to intervene with them and it just didn't work.
I guess we don't. But he was certainly done at the point of this film. He was done, and they were allowed to die in the original explosion, but Jonah was not.
And getting to I'm with you on the implications. That's part of the cringe stuff that I don't like.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody comes in with their not even a hot take, but it's their steadfast take that's just really not wavering, and it's just kind of old and stale of like, this is what hell looks like, and this is a fiery lake that we're going to burn people alive in. This is God judging you. Like, I don't really think... I know, that's stepping on some toes here. I don't think that's really how it works. But so then when somebody comes in a film and is like, oh, let me show it. If I show it to people, then they'll believe it. Then they'll see like this. No, stop. Just stop doing that. Maybe allude to it if you really feel like you have to. But yeah, again, implications.
This is for my. This is going to be very Southerner specific. But if you're on 275 North, you'll know what I'm talking about. You're going to go by a set of billboards that belong to like choose -heaven -hell -today
You mean
Jesus.
75.
75. That's right. 75
it's
North.
Coming
Thank
southbound
you.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And they are just the it's
like between Atlanta and Gainesville, Florida.
like zombies. You're like, what are we doing with this? That's what it reminded me of. I don't know if you got those vibes, but that was like, I was like, looks like what you've done is you've just gone, this is just kind of a little lazy. Like it's not interesting. Yeah. It wasn't great. So yeah, I would just say my low points collectively were just the of like, if you're saying this, if you're suggesting this, this is a weird view to take. Like this, if you stretch this out, I don't think it works very long if you think about it. That was my low point. What was your high point?
A high point for me, like really specifically on the hospital demon, like the first time we see hospital demon, which I forget his actual name, but he was listed. This like the special effects on that hospital demon, like this black cloudy wisp that's happening behind the character as he walks away, and with the other demons that were in the like in the car and stuff. The demon with his head that was on fire, I thought that looked pretty cool. So yeah, I know you mentioned some of the like the fight scene as your high point. Well, the oddly enough, some of the special effects, some of it was really dumb CGI. I thought like the view of heaven and like the water droplet going on Gabriel's hand. I thought those they look kind of dumb, but like the demon, like the way they did the demons specifically, that was pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah. And Gabriel's fiery sword, I had no issues with. I thought that was kind of fun. Every time he grabbed it, it sort of lit up. And there was a decided, just want to shout out to these people involved. There was a decided motif that was easy to follow. Gabriel and the angels had like fire swords, and the demons had like electric swords. There was a color palette. It was great. Like that's what you're looking for in this kind of fantasy stuff. Is like you want to be able to just identify who's who. And I thought that was good. I thought that was very solid. I'm going to reiterate my high point there and say there was fight scenes. It was cool. I did get a giggle out of like you just talk about like angelic, kind of like eternal beings, and they're still using like a hammer is like their weapon. Like I feel like you guys have been around for like millennia. You haven't gotten past the big hammer. That's still the weapon of choice. I would think you'd have invented something by now. I mean, what do you especially the demons, to your point, you guys are just tinkering around all day with nothing but like developing evil machines. I need more than a hammer. That's not gonna cut it.
I don't think they're very organized. You know, they got to have like a secretary of that department.
Nobody wants to work in R&D. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what I can do with the hammer.
Oh,
hey guys,
I would do such a good job of R&D for a demon.
What if
that'd be the best.
I've been looking into ninja stars. Hush, nerd demon. Give me my hammer. Okay, so that brings us to the conclusion here, Tim, of our time together, our time discussing. How many raised hand emojis out of 5 do you give Heaven's
All right.
War?
All right. So to me, there's a couple little factors. There is some cringiness in here with like the old school, like, Hell House version of what God and hell and Satan and death are. That being said, I thought there was some interesting concepts of like them like navigating the spiritual world or like that spiritual like dimension of the same world, and then they would go to heaven as sort of like a separate place. And if you haven't watched the movie, what you're hearing me say is just, it's going to sound ridiculous. And it was. But like as far as watchability goes, which is a rating system that we use, I'm going to say this is a 4 out of 5 when it comes to just watchability. Wow. It reminded me so much of some of these like great 90s TV series like Hercules or Xena Warrior Princess or like any of these like kind of fantastical weird TV shows. Like it fits in those categories. Like you could run a full like 3 or 4 seasons on this and have like a Quantum Leap kind of situation where Jonah has to do all these different things and he's just trying to survive, but then Gabriel's helping him out, but he can't help him out all the time. I could see that as a 90s TV series, and I would be all in on that, especially as a kid.
Yeah. We're very synced on this one. I had it lower than you, which that is not common. I was at a 3, and I said my logic was very similar, and more so I just said I think they were like on to something, and they were like distracted by not that thing. My thought was Power Rangers. Like I want to see, like, you tune in and then the putties run out, almost like maybe like a take on Bible Man. And I just was like, how did this not exist? Somebody should have been onto this, where you're just like, yeah, people are in need, and like angels show up and there's these battles that happen and take place. You've got like particular passages in the Bible you can sort of point to and be like, I don't know that it's not this. Like, it's interesting. Like, this is an interesting area to have discussion and get creative. I thought they were kind of onto something there. I couldn't go higher than a 3 just because I think there were too many senators, too many FBI agents, and there's too many different cancer vaccines going at the same time that I couldn't go higher than 3. But I was at a solid 3, especially going like, this concept, I think you were onto something here. They also, if you check the runtime, they didn't really get into it, but for like 40 minutes. I think there was like 40 minutes of trying to set up whatever story got us to Jonah being in the in-between play. We should have been there right away. Yeah. Should have been this is Jonah. His kid's mad at him. Boom. Take him away.
Yeah, and the kid was terrible too. I just figured I'd throw that dig in there.
Chloe,
no, like quality of movie. I'm not talking quality of movie. I'm talking. I can't rate it very high if you have like a high level of cringe stuff. I can't suggest that or recommend it because it feels weird. But they didn't have that much, and the two main characters I thought were really good. Like I thought they did their roles the way they had to do it. I thought Jonah did his role the way he had to do it. I thought Gabriel, the archangel, was a great version of that. Like he did what he was asked to do. They did all their fight scenes, had a ton, again, all the like the stunt people who did those demon roles, like they all have stunt backgrounds, not the typical acting background. So I thought they did that part really well. It was really cheesy and fun, and I certainly wouldn't recommend. Like it was like they did everything they could to make it boring with the senator stuff and the vaccine stuff. But the rest hung on. Again, if you like Hercules, if you like Kevin Sorbo as Hercules, like you're gonna like this one.
Yeah, it's a good time. Heaven's War. Clap it up for him.
I assumed,
respect.
I assumed at the beginning when they were talking about this vaccine bill that it was going to be like this sort of cancer thing that was imposed by the UN, and then everybody had to get it, and they did steer away from the UN trope.
I know, and that was, I guess, maybe a little bit of like, I want to tip my cap to him. I thought there were some obvious like places you were heading, because at one point Gabriel even looks at Magog, Jabroni, whoever the demon was, and says like, why is this one so important to you? And I was like, oh, this is because he is our agent of bringing about the mark of the beast. Which that would be, see, and that's another idea here is like, you get this like SpongeBob Plankton relationship where the demons in our like 90s take on this are always trying to bring about the mark of the beast by a different method. So they're like, it's like Beanie Babies, and they're like, they're taking over, they're everywhere, everyone's gonna want one, and then the angels have to be like, no, we're not letting it this time. And then fight, and then they stop the Beanie Babies from becoming the mark of the beast. And then the next week is like, it's Coca-Cola. No, this is a good cereal idea.
Is this how we start our creative project of like making one of these things happen?
I mean, I feel like this is an idea that's going to go in a note in my phone called Fun Ideas. And angels battling demons to try to stop the mark of the beast from coming down to earth.
Yeah.
And they
so
always
whoever,
have a new
if
plan.
The person who knows the person at Tubi can also get Tubi to sponsor the film that we want to make, or the series. I'll make it into a series. This
could be a Tubi original if they act fast. I'm not going to sit around and wait for them. I'll tell you that right now. That was Heaven's War. And it was not as intense as the bidding war is going to be for Tim and I's latest show, where angels battle demons in a early 90s sort of style.
What the heck was this?
What the people are waiting for. All right, Tim, that was great. Heaven's War was great. Let us know what movie we should review next. At The Bible is Funny on Instagram, TikTok. You can leave a comment on wherever you watch or listen to the podcast. If you haven't yet reviewed the podcast, please do that. That's really helpful for our project here that we're doing. Anything else you need to say before we wrap up, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, don't be afraid. Like, if you're submitting ideas for a movie, don't be afraid to like submit a good one that's actually tolerable and okay to watch, that like doesn't make me cringe or hate what I do. So feel free. I mean, you don't have to follow that.
Yeah.
But if you want, it's just, it is an option, and I know nobody has exercised that option yet, so I just want to put that out there.
It's good to remind people. Don't be afraid. We love you guys. We'll be back here with another podcast real soon, and we'll talk to you then. Okay, bye.
Okay, love you.
The Bible is for